had the biggest year of my life.
My name is Tom Alterson. I now reside in the Catskill Mountains in upstate New York, originally from Long Island, New York. The stereotype of New York City holds up. I think people tend to live in a herd mentality like I had been living for years without even knowing it. It was run here, run there, do this, do that, keeping up with the Joneses. I worked in Manhattan in New York City for 25 years on Wall Street most of that time. Loved my career, but ultimately things changed at the office, and at one point there arose a conflict between what the firm believed in and what I did, and ultimately I left my career of 25 years, and the transition up to the country was such a welcome relief from that really challenging, always on the go, always on lifestyle.
Hi, my name is James Alterson. I'm 16 years old. Life up here is very different from Long Island. It was very tight, compact, almost claustrophobic on Long Island, and up here, I mean, I can't hear a car every 5 seconds. It's woods all around me. I hear the birds every morning, the squirrels, the chipmunks, everything, chickens in the morning, and it's so nice. The peace and calm is just amazing, and being surrounded by God's beautiful creation is just amazing.
Hi, I'm Will. My siblings and I are homeschooled, so we have a lot of time in the outdoors. My dad is now home with us a lot and gets to spend more time with us, taking us on hunting trips and enjoying life with our family.
The ability to reconnect with them after not even knowing that I hadn't been connected for so many years was just an unbelievable blessing. I really enjoyed spending time with my sons in the woods, and my daughter and my wife and our pets, and we expanded what we had as a little homestead that we used to ski and as a hunting cabin, a base cabin in the woods. Our homestead is now flourishing. We have cows and pigs and over 150 chickens, and we're getting eggs every day, and all the days are filled with physical labor and physical chores. And I think we're living a very biblical lifestyle in terms of providing for ourselves and others. The nourishment that we're providing the family, healthy nourishment. We know where our food comes from, and we're in touch with our food. It's something that I only dreamt of when I was sitting in a glass office looking out the window at the Hudson River and watching birds diving down on moving fish. I wish I could live that lifestyle. Well, I'm living it now. The moment I was losing my job and being alerted by my boss that my career was coming to an end, my son William was watching the Woodsman, and he had come over and tried to interrupt my conversation, which was not the best time. But he was tugging on my shirt, and as I got off the phone with my boss and I was preparing to tell my wife about what had transpired on the telephone, William said, "Dad, I just watched one of the episodes of The Woodsman, and at the end they were asking for people to apply to be pro staff members." And I kind of poo-pooed that and kind of shrugged them off, and there were other things that were kind of more important in my mind at that moment. Little did I know that after 2 months of pestering me, I would sit down at our desk and prepare a video of our family and answer a bunch of questions and submit them. And we were asked to join the show, which was an incredible blessing.
The Woodsman had always been one of our favorite shows to watch, especially when we started getting into hunting a lot. And it was just a complete blessing to be able to go to the pro staff meeting and see that and be accepted. I mean, there's so many great guys there, and they're all on fire for Jesus.
I love the Woodsman because it combines my love for hunting, loving the Lord, loving my family, and our lifestyle.
Hear this message and respond to it by turning from sin and humbling themselves and exalting this resurrected Christ Jesus.
I wasn't expecting to have 50% Bible camp / 50% hunting as the topic du jour. It was just awesome. And then to have my sons by my side and to have them be accepted like they were, it's one of the most powerful experiences of my life. Besides sharing the passion for hunting, it definitely shares the gospel. And at the very least, it shares the good news of salvation. Not only that, but also teaches people to live a moral life, a good life, to love one another and to love God's creation. And that to me is like nothing I could ever have imagined being the centerpiece of my life. Having two sons that share my passion, and we've developed this passion together, is great. But I also have a very, very supportive wife who often says to me, you went to Babylon for 25 years for us to be able to provide, and you deserve the opportunity to go out and pursue this passion. And I have a daughter who is, what I always describe her as an angel, but she's a Proverbs 31 girl, and she is someone who cheers us on from afar, even when we're traveling. And the boys and I couldn't do what we're doing without their support, their love, and their prayers, because we are incredibly blessed to be able to say how we got those two ladies in our lives and in our corner. So in the midst of all this turmoil, my career being upended and not really knowing what we're going to do officially, I get a phone call from Jared Lyle at the Hunting Fool, who tells me, Tom, I hope you're sitting down because I got some good news for you. And the good news was that I won the most difficult mule deer license in the state of Montana, and thus began the planning for our trip in the fall. We secured a place in the Bitterroot Mountains of Montana, and we headed out. We landed in Missoula, Montana. We met up with Dustin, who was going to film our hunt, and that was a lot of fun, just getting to meet the boys, and jumped in the car, rental car, and drove to an Airbnb.
Oh, there's a freaking muley. He's taking this. You see that?
Yes!
No way. Oh, look at that one. It's perfect. Look at that one.
I was lucky to have been placed with an unbelievable guide, Tucker.
Tom? Tucker. Pleasure, man.
So William?
William Tucker. Nice to meet you, man.
James, nice to meet you.
Tucker, nice to meet you.
He was patient and calm and educated us on the terrain and on the animals, and even helped us, sight in our weapons. Pretty wild, right?
Wow.
Awesome. Well, that makes me feel good.
That makes me feel good.
Yeah. Why don't you grab that, just throw it over your shoulder. I'm gonna help Tucker.
I thought, wow, this guy is more than a professional. Not only that, but he was rugged. He was a rugged outdoorsman.
Oh, boys, day one. Mm-hmm. Can you get out there, meet with our guide, Tucker? Hopefully, try to stalk a few of these deer. I'm gonna go with the bow. Hopefully, you guys will be ready to help out Dustin any way we possibly can. Get some good footage and hopefully find a big one.
Excited and tired.
Like that.
Yeah, something like that. That'd be nice.
That guy.
So, it's cold out, so make sure you prepare. I'm not quite used to the cold weather yet. But we will be when we get home. Day one of the hunt was amazing. We met up with Tucker real early in the morning, and we headed out into a very, very steep mountainous area. So we glassed for a couple of hours and put our eyes on a host of bucks, probably 4 or 5 different bucks. We decided to go pursue a 4x4 that was probably 500 or 600 yards away, down a very, very steep ravine and then up a mountain. He decided to bed, so we put the chase on him. And if you haven't hunted out west in that rocky terrain, it's it's an adventure. And so, you know, we hustled down the mountain and then right back up with a couple of water breaks and a couple breaks to catch our breath. And then we grabbed the bow, and I did my best to maneuver around to get a shot on this buck, and he was gone. He had disappeared like the wind, and it was a little discouraging, although we did know we had another buck further up another mountain ridge. And it took us probably 2 hours to maneuver the deadfall that was in front of our path up that mountain. By the time we got up there, the wind was swirling, and we had to play the wind as best we could. We circled around to try to get behind the buck and got probably within 150 yards of him before the wind shifted, and then we circled back around, and then the wind shifted again, and we circled back a third time and finally put the stock on him, and got within probably 35 yards of that beautiful buck.
Daddy's like 20 yards from here. He's walking.
And I drew my bow. My son was right by my side filming, and there was a piece of deadfall right in front of his vitals. And so I let down my bow, and off went that beautiful buck. And gosh, we were tired at that point. We barely made it down the mountain to our vehicles, but we were ready for the rest of the day, which included spotting probably 2,000 yards away a giant buck, you know, record type 200-inch mule deer, potentially larger than that. And we made a move, and I actually decided to use the rifle because the tag allowed me any method of take I wanted for this mule deer. And so we set up roughly 400 yards from this mule deer.
I'm on it, Tom. You're good. When you're ready. There he is. There he is. Yeah. You're high. You're high.
You're high. Hold it high.
Unfortunately, my shot was errant, and the mule deer disappeared. And so it was a bit of a letdown, but we were ready for day 2. I could hardly sleep after having those 2 opportunities, and but knowing that we'd have probably a few more the next day. What I hadn't anticipated was the snow falling down, you know, single-digit temperatures. But sure enough, we saw mule deer from the get-go. Again, we tried to get in on a couple of them. It was challenging. It was a really interesting buck that we went after that had a giant side of it, looked like a typical mule deer on one side, but then on the other side it had like a little whitetail rack, and it was so unique. And it was one of those ones where we were like, oh man, maybe we can get one of those on our wall. And he was just a very interesting looking animal. We put a stock on with the bow for a couple of hours up and down this mountain ravine and through the snow, and we never got a shot. We pursued a couple of others. I contemplated taking shots at 2 or 3 other bucks, but I decided to wait. And so that night we went back, we kind of rested ourselves, had a good meal, got to bed early, and prepared for day 3. 19 bucks yesterday. No real shooters, except for the one. Put a couple good stalks on. But hopefully we see that guy today, day 3. I mean, if it's like it was yesterday, yeah, we should have somebody to chase, put the chase on. I think I'm gonna use the CBA today, you know?
Yeah, I think you should too.
Yeah. No, I think that's a ticket. I mean, we're going to a new spot this morning.
Yeah, he said it was supposed to be good. He said we might get one right out of the car.
Yeah, just get, but we gotta be quiet. Because he said it could be 150 yards away, so be prepared for that. So I think Tucker knows what he's doing. Hopefully we can put him to sleep. On day 3, we woke up supercharged. There was a feeling in the air that morning. And although it had snowed right through the night, when we got up, the snow had melted. The air was crisp, it was cold, but it just felt like we were gonna kill a big buck. that morning. So we went to a small piece of public land that we hadn't hunted yet. And right when we stepped out of the car and started to gear up, you could almost feel the intensity around us. And our guide said, you know, if they're gonna be here, they're gonna be here right away. So I need you to be really, really quiet, and I need you to move very swiftly. And I'm telling you, the vertical was 60 degrees. Probably within 50 feet, heading vertical, we spotted two giants. I mean, absolute giants. To the point where Tucker was like, wow.
Crazy, like, he's double forked. He's forked on the G2, and he's forked on the G3. There are two giants.
We got eyes on them really quickly, but they crested a distant ridge, and we never saw them again. But we continued to pursue that course, and sure enough, we came across a giant. As we set up for this shot, my heart was pounding. But we laid down on that mountain ridge. That animal was 400 to 500 yards away at the time we spotted him. And, you know, I was tightening everything down and making sure my legs were in the right position. And
Okay. Make sure you're level.
we laid down on that mountain ridge. That animal was 400 to 500 yards away at the time we spotted him. My heart was pounding.
Take your time. Make sure that's level. Reload, you hit him. Zoom out. Praise Jesus.
Dang, man. What an adventure.
What a rush.
Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know, having somebody like you, I mean, I think my wife said to me before we left, like, God's gonna put it in God's hands. Everything's gonna work out, man. And getting hooked up with you and the guys, and, you know, the way you've treated my sons and Dustin and I, like, you know, never made us feel like we were, while we were watching you, the Billy Goat, climbing up those mountains, man, and never made us feel like we were lesser men.
You know, it's crazy, boys. That you talk about it being in God's hands. Today's the day that my father passed away last year. Today. What time is it? He passed away at 9:03 in the morning. 9:03. And guess where I live? I live just over this mountain right here. This is my backyard. Let's share that with you boys today. That is undescribable, and nobody knows that feeling other than us. So thanks for making that one special memory for me. My old lady said it today, man. She's like, I just feel like you guys are gonna get one today before I left the house this morning. So yeah, and I knew it was gonna be a beautiful day like today. It was. Get to do it in the sunshine.
No, that's great, man. That's
as good as it gets.
That's a real blessing, you know.
You boys, you cherish time with Pops, because tomorrow's never promised, so you soak up every day you got with your family. Yeah, just keep them easy there, dude. We're gonna drag you back uphill. What a cool deer, man.
Thank you, fella. What a blessing. That's gonna give us a lot of nourishment. Wow, how grateful. What a beauty. Get with you guys.
What a cool buck, man.
Yeah, cool looking buck. it's just so exciting. It was the culmination of like just an incredible dream of a hunt and something that I just could never have conceived of prior to the changes that have taken place in our lives over the past number of years. And I give all credit to God because without him, nothing is possible. And for sure, his hand has been all over my life forever. But now I'm finally recognizing it, over the past number of years.